This is Ray Davis and Jeff Glover from Inside the Records Room in association with ARMA International at their conference in Washington, D.C. We're here to talk to John Montagnier, one of the latest people elected as a fellow of ARMA International. John, what are your thoughts for becoming a fellow of ARMA International?
Well, since I was notified that I was selected, I've had a lot of chance to think about it, and it's given me a perspective on my own career, because I started this business 20 years or so ago, and back then I was obviously, like everybody else, new and green, and so I became aware of the fellows back then, and of course they were the experienced guys, they were the heavyweights, they were the pros, and when you're in an organization and you're new, you look at the pros and you look at the real guys and you aspire to be like them. It seems like it's going to take you a long time. It seems very difficult to get there because you are so new and there's so much between you. And so looking back on my career, it's an interesting progression because you see the maturation process is required, and you see all of the things that go into it. And so finally, and fortunately, I know some of the folks that were fellows when I first came into the ARMA, Western China, for example. And so it's wonderfully gratifying and a great honor because after all of these years, you're here with these folks who admire so much and you respect so much. And so it's really just a great honor. It's really difficult to describe how it feels to last be a peer of people who have that much respect for you.
How did you get involved in records management?
Well, like a lot of folks, accidentally. I graduated from law school and figured out pretty quickly that I didn't want to work in a law firm, and they probably didn't want me working in a law firm. And I was fortunate enough that when I was in law school, I was working as a student researcher for Don Skupski, who's a pretty well-known guy in this business. And so I started working for Don and just kind of stayed working for him for several years before eventually moving on my own. So it was serendipity in a lot of ways because it really wasn't a conscious choice, but at the same time it turned out to be a good choice. Joseph Campbell speaks about how the universe opens doors for you, and this is maybe one of those cases where the universe did open a door, because I had no intention of being in records management, didn't know anything about it really, but the door opened, and I was fortunate to have Don for a mentor because I had the opportunity from the beginning to learn from one of the heavyweights, and to work with one of the heavyweights, and I think that really helped my career a lot.
Tell us about your journey through records management.
It's an educational process. There's a lot to learn, and the further along we go, the more there is to learn, it seems like. And particularly in line of the business where you're a consultant and you're expected to have answers, every project is a learning process because you're faced with new challenges. You're faced with people that want answers and have right to expect answers from you. And so you're always faced with having to learn new things, learn new strategies, meet new people. So it's if I could say anything about my career, it's a continuous learning process every day, because you have to learn, you have to adapt, you have to gain more knowledge if you want to keep up with this business.
John, you've already talked about some of the influences in your career, particularly early on. As you look back down that journey in records management to where you are today, who is the most influential person to you, or is it a group of people?
Well, there are certainly some individuals. I mean, Don Skupski comes readily to mind. I was very fortunate, as I said, that the first guy I worked for was Don, and he was a cutting-edge guy, cutting-edge thinker, and so I learned from the best right off the bat. Certainly, many of my clients, probably I would say, because my clients come to me with hard questions. say that it's virtually everybody I've come into contact with at ARMA, because everybody, there's so many intellectual discussions and so many professional discussions where there's an exchange of ideas and exchange of thoughts, and people make you think, and hopefully you make them think, and it's that intellectual interchange that's been a feature of my career from day one that I think has been the most important thing. So it's really everybody. It's the collegiality. It's all of the people. It's all of the great chapters. The Houston chapter, the Delaware chapter that I'm now a part of. It's all these good people creating an environment where we have to think and grow.
You know, if you look back from the time you started as a young green guy all the way up to the seasoned, well-deserved recognition from an ARMA Fellow, where do you feel the greatest challenges rest today for records and information management?
Oh boy, there's so many of them. You know, I've been in this business long enough now to have seen an enormous sea change, not only in the profession itself, and an increase in its stature in the world, but also this enormous technological revolution that we take for granted these days. And we've gone from completely paper-based systems to enormous electronic systems. And I think the archivist of the United States' presentation this morning was an excellent example of that when you talked about the volumes of records that the federal government stores in electronic format. I think our greatest challenge is to that, because we're in a world right now where technology and information technology changes rapidly, virtually from month to month. You look at, for example, social networking technology, which was non-existent a few years ago, and now is utterly pervasive. And our problem as records managers is that the law doesn't keep up with that very well. The law changes much too fast. And our techniques, if we're not careful, our management techniques, our management concepts, our management principles, if we don't stay on our toes, we won't be able to keep up with these things either. We have to. We're in the business of keeping up with these things. So it's the pace of technological change and evolution that I think is our biggest challenge, along with just the sheer volumes of data that change generates, and our ability to keep up with that change and manage that change in an appropriate fashion. That's the challenge.
And speaking to those challenges that you just described, where do you see records management evolving to meet those challenges?
I think that in the future, a records management professional will necessarily have to be an information technology professional at some level as well. I think if you're a records manager coming up, you have to think about having a good, solid grounding in information technologies, not necessarily a computer programmer, although that might be a good selection, but a good, solid understanding, a working understanding of how these technologies work so that you can apply management to them. The other thing that I think is important is a good grounding in legal concepts, because whether we like it or not, our profession is inextricably intertwined with the law and the legal system. And so for someone coming up, those two things are if they're probably mandatory today, I would say, for anybody coming up. Certainly in the future they will be, because those are the two areas where you're going to be faced with the demands of your employer, whoever they may be, to provide solutions.
How does ARMA International fit into that picture of everything you just described, not only for today, but steps in the future?
Well, in a lot of ways. I spoke, first of all, of my experience with ARMA as a group of colleagues. And you can't emphasize enough the value to anybody, particularly a new guy coming into the profession, of having a group of colleagues that you can seek advice from, that you can confer with, that you can debate with, that you can fight with, because that's what creates that intellectual interchange of all of those kinds is what creates new thoughts and new concepts and better thinking. and oftentimes the people who disagree with you the most are the ones that make you the best, because they force you to think through what you're doing and make sure that it's defensible, and sometimes they make you change it. So all of that collegiality, I think, is a key value of ARMA, because that's where you're finding. Use of hospitality suites, at chapter meetings, at regional seminars, all those kinds of places, just meeting people who have been through the same problems and oftentimes know more than you do, and have better solutions than you do, and can share them with you. That's a very important aspect of ARMA. Second of all, obviously the formal education. ARMA's role, and it's increasingly good at that role, is to push out strong educational content and to make that available, and to evolve that content as our profession evolves, as information technologies evolve, as the law evolves. And once again, I think ARMA's doing a pretty good job of that. And third, the third pillar of the triad, if you like, is the development of a professional literature, which this profession increasingly needs. And ARMA is the source for, and is actively involved in developing a strong professional literature, not only in terms of periodicals and white papers, but strong professional literature of books and electronic content and all these other things. Another area that I should have mentioned, it's really four areas at least, is ARMA's role, and it's an increasingly large role, as a liaison with government. ARMA is actively involved, for example, with ARC principles and introducing them to government and government agencies. And that kind of a regulatory advisement role, I think, is a key aspect of ARMA's future role, because it will allow people who regulate our profession to understand more fully the things that they're regulating, and hopefully the legal regulatory landscape in the future will be affected by that in a positive way. And I think if ARMA can achieve that, that's an important thing.
What words of encouragement do you have for young professionals who may be considering records management profession as a career?
I think for a young person that's contemplating this business, I would say that there's never been a better time to become involved in this business. Not only does it have a much higher profile than it used to, and much better career prospects than it used to, but you're in an exciting time in that you deal with a lot of different technologies, a lot of cutting-edge legal issues, a lot of cutting-edge technology issues, a lot of cutting-edge social issues, like, for example, the use and management of social media, which is a combination of law, technology, and culture, really. And it's kind of a new thing in that sense. So you have this very interesting mix of cutting-edge issues, and in many cases, the solutions aren't crafted. If you're a young guy out there, you're a woman, and you're sharp and you're ambitious, you have the opportunity now to go out there and be the crafter of those solutions. So it's an opportunity for you not only to have a career, but also for you as a young person to have the opportunity to rise to the top in an increasingly important field. So there's never been a better time to be here.
Well, John, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on being a fellow of ARMA International.
Thanks. It's an honor.